Wow, centers are worth a lot in this league. The Arizona Coyotes trade Martin Hanzal, Ryan White, and a 2017 fourth-round pick to the Minnesota Wild for a 2017 first-round pick, a 2018 second-round pick, a 2019 conditional fourth-round pick, and prospect Grayson Downing. Most agree that young Arizona Coyotes John Chayka fleeced the Minnesota Wild. While the Minnesota Wild added a very important center to their team in Martin Hanzal, they also added an underrated Ryan White. While the big Martin Hanzal is impressive with 28 points in 53 games and a 55.9% face-off percentage in 1,086 face-offs, Ryan White is no one to be overlooked. The 28-year-old center has 16 points in 48 games and is good for 5 points in his last 5 games. The trade is a little lopsided though, because coming to Arizona is a guaranteed first-round pick, a guaranteed second-round pick, and a guaranteed good prospect in Grayson Downing. People seem to be overlooking the 24-year-old University of New Hampshire grad who has 40 points in 56 games this season with the Iowa Wild. Grayson Downing may not turn out to be a great player, but he could be helpful in the bottom 6 of the Arizona Coyotes in the future. So then that bears the question, why couldn't the Devils get a return like that for Kyle Quincy, Vernon Fiddler, or P.A. Parento? A lot of comparisons have been drawn between Martin Hanzal and P.A. Parento because Martin Hanzal has 28 points in 53 games and P.A. Parento has 27 points in 59 games. While their point totals are close, if you look at them in games, they're not close at all. The first and most obvious thing is that Martin Hanzal is a center and P.A. Parento is a winger. Centers are hard to come by in the NHL, especially ones who are good at faceoffs and can play well in their defensive zone. So while P.A. Parento and Martin Hanzal have similar point totals, P.A. Parento's game stops at the point totals. Martin Hanzal has a 55.9% faceoff percentage and is top 10 in the league in centers who have won over 300 faceoffs. And putting him in the category of players who have won over 300 faceoffs is generous considering he's taken over 1,000. Along with all of this, Ryan White and a 4th-round pick were also added into the equation. Don't get me wrong though, I think P.A. Parento is worth more than a 6th-round pick to Nashville, but I can also see why he dropped so far. Either that or a day-to-day finger injury really hurts your trade value. Another thing a lot of Devils fans are pointing out though is how Vernon Fiddler drew more than P.A. Parento. Vernon Fiddler was traded to the Nashville Predators in exchange for a 4th-round pick. While Vernon Fiddler has just 4 points in 50 games, he is a defensively responsible center who also has positive aspects in the faceoff circle. Vernon Fiddler has a 53.5 faceoff percentage and is 24th in the league for all centers who have won over 300 faceoffs. While it's not great, that's definitely good, and looking at the aspects of Vernon Fiddler's game, you can definitely see why he's worth a 4th-round pick. Are Vernon Fiddler's faceoffs and defensive responsibility more important than P.A. Parento's goals? Maybe, I'm not sure, but they're definitely not as far apart as people are saying. The next trade the Devils made on deadline day was Kyle Quincy to the Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for Dalton Prout. With losing a 20-minute-a-night defenseman in Kyle Quincy, I'm disappointed with the return. The return of Dalton Prout could be compared very closely to somebody who's already on the Devils, and that Devil is Seth Helgeson. Dalton Prout is 26 years old, 6'3", 229 pounds, has 33 points in 224 career games, and has one of the heaviest right hands in the NHL. Seth Helgeson is 26 years old, 6'4", 210 pounds, and has 4 points in 50 career NHL games. Dalton Prout has 3 assists and 4 fights in 15 games this season. Seth Helgeson has 1 point and 3 fights in 9 games this season. Some positive things can come from Dalton Prout's physicality though. The Devils constantly have problems screening their goalie and can't clear guys from in front of their net. Dalton Prout can help clear those guys. Although there is one positive aspect of getting Dalton Prout for Kyle Quincy, he's not part of our future, and if you asked me if I wanted Seth Helgeson for Kyle Quincy, I would have answered no. Again, I was hoping Kyle Quincy could get a better return than just Dalton Prout, but maybe Graciero couldn't make a deal work. Finally, the last deal the Devils made on deadline day was a minor league deal with the Florida Panthers. The Devils trade minor league defenseman Reese Scarlett for minor league winger Shane Harper. Shane Harper has 3 points in 14 games for the Florida Panthers this season and has 37 points in 59 games in the AHL. Reese Scarlett has yet to hit the NHL ice and has 21 points in 50 games for the Albany Devils this season. With the moves the Devils made, it actually makes sense for the Devils to pick up an experienced AHL player who could help in the Albany Devils playoff run this season. The reason it's important for the Albany Devils to be good this season is because players like Miles Wood, Joseph Blandisi, and Steve Santini are still eligible to go back down to the AHL and play in the playoffs for experience. However, I'm not a huge fan of this deal. Since Reese Scarlett was never given an opportunity on the Devils, despite earning it plenty of times, we'll never know how he would have turned out. As I said, it's a minor deal, but I was just hoping that a 23-year-old Reese Scarlett could get some time on the Devils to prove himself before we shipped him off. I could be wrong though. I made this channel to be a conversation. I would love to see any different opinions in the comment section down below. Do you think that Dalton Prout is a lot different than Seth Helgeson, or do you think that P.A. Parento is worth way more than a 6th-round pick? Let me know. Tomorrow night the Devils take on the Capitals at the Verizon Center in Washington. There'll be a video on that tomorrow night or Friday, so I'll see you then.